Your sabbatical. Everyone give Mark even some more extra rest vibes so that he keeps the goodness going for him. I know we're all about to get into our Shabbat modes and do our commanded rest as well. And I'm so happy to be here to help kick that off for us and also to be on the first day of the month of Kislev. I missed you all last month for Cheshvan. We were on our staff retreat and I wasn't able to lead, but I sent everyone some good Chodesh Tov vibes. And Cheshvan didn't have any holidays, so it was going to be, a pretty simple meditation. Unlike this month of Kislev, where there are so many different themes. For those of you who've been with me on the months, you know how we go. I like to have some fun. I like to do a little teaching of the month to help frame what the spiritual energy is going to be for this month, and then we drop into our sit. And for those of you who have never met before, if you want to just meditate, mute me, and we'll see you at the Moorish Kaddish on the other side. Okay, so Kislev has three major themes. One of them is light and darkness. The second of them is about trust and hope and dedication. And the third is dreams. So for all of you who like to interpret dreams and get into them, this is the month for you because all four Torah portions have dreams in them. We have Jacob's ladder, we have Joseph's dream, we have Pharaoh's dreams. And we don't just have the dreams, we have literally conversations interpreting the dreams. So looking at your dreams Jewishly is something that we do, and Kislev is the month to really do it. We have a lot of teachings on dreams, and I'm not going to go so much into it, but I want to just do a little bit, which is that uh, our sages teach that there are three different types of dreams. Rabbeinu Bachaya says that there's three different types of dreams. One is of the body, and it really has to do with poor indigestion or digestion from food or eating too late or drinking too late. And that they said that these dreams are sort of fleeting and meaningless. So don't look into them. The second one is of the mind, which is really shaped by our daytime activities, thoughts, and they usually echo some sort of anxiety or worry that we have. And those also are not to be interpreted. But thirdly, the ones of the soul, the whispers from the divine realm. These are the ones that carry the guidance for us to think about and interpret and to talk about with other people and to affirm and to share in community. So if you start having some wild dreams, just know that you are aligned with the Hebrew calendar and that this is the month to talk about it in community. The other two themes, I said light and darkness, trust and dreams. The second one that I said, trust, comes from the word kislev, pocket of the heart, also has the same shoresh as the word kesel, which means trust in Judaism. And this idea that, at the end of the month we have Hanukkah, but that we have this idea that this month asks us to trust what we can't see and to believe that the Maccabees were able to use just a single jar of oil that might burn beyond what they possibly could think about. And that even in the destruction of the temple, Jewish wisdom lives on, and that we might have our own sense of dedication and trust and hope despite hard times, which I know that we're definitely feeling, all of us, in our own lives right now. So we have to trust that the light is going to come. We have to trust that the leadership is going to come, and that is part of what we get to do for us this month. And lastly, the most common theme is darkness and light. This is the darkest time of the year. We have seasonal depression for some of us who aren't great with, missing of the sun. And darkness can kind of feel heavy and it's cold. But the thing is that in Judaism, we're really clear in Kislev that darkness is not something that we resist. It's something that we need to enter and embrace because it's part of the cycle. And that the darkness is not something that, we can skip. This season is about hibernation. It's about long rests. It's about dreaming. It's about laying fallow the earth. And that there is something magical and important about that as well. Even if our mood dips in Kislev, that's still okay because there's wisdom there in the darkness. There can be some medicine for us too. And of course, darkness is not absence of light, is what I think this a lot of the Hanukkah story is about here. Darkness is actually the cradle that allows light to be born and allows it to be seen. This month, we know that darkness can be some of our best friends and a companion for us if we just allow it to be that way. Hanukkah starts at the last week of Kislev, and we put the menorah out in the window for the light to be seen out into the world and also back in towards ourselves. And there's a lot of learnings that are going to happen. I'm sure we'll do a lot of meditations this month on it. But I want us to be thinking about that light and the light that's in all of us, that little light that we have in our neshama, the light of the Or Haganuz, which was the light before creation that skimmed across the top of the surface of the water, that was tucked away for us to uncover and for us to look for. And in the darkness, it's actually easier for us to see it because it's so abundant. So lastly, before we drop into our meditation, I want to leave us from a quote from, I think, one of my dad's favorite musicians I grew up hearing, Simon and Garfunkel, who says, "Hello, darkness, my old friend. We've come to talk to you again." And hopefully that got some of you smiling. I see you, Sam Wildman, smiling at me. So thank you for that. We want to bring a little joy into our meditation before we drop in. But, it's not just Jewish wisdom that's saying that darkness is something here for us. It's also American rock folk music. So here we go into Kislev, everybody. And the thing about Jewish wisdom is that we don't do it alone. We're doing it in community. And so it's on us to figure out what kind of light we can spark. And in the menorah, we actually have another really beautiful metaphor about leadership and about the ownership of our own light, which is that there's 8 nights of Hanukkah and there's 8 candles to light representing each of those. And it doesn't start with the biggest one. It starts with a tiny little spark. And the menorah actually gets lit from the shamash, which is the leader candle. And there's so much conversation about how each of us can be our own shamash for ourselves, for our families, for the community. And it's on us to strike the match first so that we can light it up for some other things too. We ready to do our sit? Let's do it. Do that. Inhale deeply. Big exhale together. When you're ready to get into it, get yourself in a comfortable position, a position like a shamash would be, tall and proud, standing above the others. Allow your eyes to close, ground your body to the earth. Feel your spine, the messenger, rooting down to the earth and up through the top of your head, up through the top of your keter, into the divine realm. And take some deep breaths. We'll just start in our bodies, start in our breath. Inhaling through our nose, exhaling slowly through your mouth. Feeling yourself fully arrive here. Give yourself any wisdom that you need to get your mind and your soul to where your body is right now. Let your body rest into gravity. Feel the weight of your body supported by your seat and through the earth completely. And the strength of the ground beneath you. Allow your breath to lengthen and your heart to soften. Kislev is a month of faith and light and dreaming. A time when we're invited to hold those and hold on to hope, even if we cannot see the full picture. It is a time to trust the flicker of light that remains. Notice it, amplify it. Even if we don't think there's enough light for everything to be contained or enough oil to last us through, it's on us to keep out hope and trust that we can. Inhaling that slow breath and exhale some soul right back into yourself. We're going to bring our attention to our chest, the place where our heart and our spirit and our breath meet. Start taking some breaths there with that simple awareness. We're going to visualize that heart pocket. Bring your awareness to the small, glowing space inside your heart where there is a little light that's tucked deep within. It's soft and it's warm and it's in each of us. And it's our own little secret ember that never goes out, the light of our soul. If it helps you stay focused on that, feel free to place your hand right on your heart. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, notice the rise of your chest with your breath, with your soul. And exhaling, noticing it come down. You might picture it as a little candle or a flame, or spark or a star. Whatever it is, it doesn't need to be bright, although it could be, because even a small little light guides through the darkness. Inhaling, breathing in, taking in some soul. Imagine feeding that light with the care that it needs, with the air that it needs. And as you exhale, imagine that light growing steadier and clearer. Inhaling the care, exhaling the steadiness. In that heart pocket, live your dreams, that quiet vision, your desires that you have that are not yet visible to the world, that rest like oil waiting to be kindled. And take a few breaths visiting them. What light am I being called to tend to, even if no one else can see it? Now I want to play with our light for the next couple of minutes and expand it. Imagine that little light inside your soul is growing brighter, clearer, steadier, and fill your whole chest with that light. With each breath, nourish it with care, and with each exhale, allow it to go bigger. Inhaling and exhale, the light goes up to your shoulders, your arms, and encompasses your neck and your head. And maybe on the next breath, it goes down your legs and your feet. continue to play with that breath, inhaling the care, exhale the expansion of the light, the space around you. And allow it to keep growing. Some of the miracles of Kislev is that we all light our own neshamas, our own sparks of light that grow and joined together can multiply beyond measure. 207 of us right now, expanding our light beyond ourselves, the people around us, the communities around us, linked together in trust, hope, and dedication. Take a couple more breaths here, feeling into your own light, the light that you put on the windowsill for others to see and for you to see. Take a few final breaths here in your own body, feeling your feet on the ground, your body supported, your heart is illuminated from within. Your own divine light that's created in the image of divine is strong and steady. Inhaling together, exhaling together. When you're ready, you can allow your eyes to open, maybe catch another person's eyes. Even though I'm pinned, you can find somebody else. Give them that little light that you've got from your soul through your eyes to another person's eyes. Chodesh Tov, everybody. Happy Kislev. Dance with those themes this month. Play into them. They're our inheritance, and they're the wisdom of the winter.
Thank you so much, Sarah, as always, guiding us so beautifully today into this new month. Friends, let's seal the practice as we do each day. Those of you who are in mourning, observing a yard site, or if it's your custom to join in the mourner's Kaddish, you're welcome to do so. If you're not reciting Kaddish, we encourage you to please stay present for a few moments to support those who are. Thanks to Harry for sharing the words of the Kaddish on the screen. And if you're reciting it, please join me by rising in body or in spirit. You can unmute at this time.
Buchdahl,
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 Shirabak,
Amen.
Vira, Vira,
Kaye Kum
Kaye Kum,
Adala Mankari
Abdullah,
Shmei Rabba
Rabba Marach Leolam Ulamei Amaya
Ishtabach Amar Hadar Yitaleb Yitalal Shri
Dar Bitaleb, Yatalal,
Elam Birchata V'Shirata
Elo,
B'chata V'Nachama Da'amiran Ba'alma
Mushbachata,
Maraba Shemaya
Say shalom,
Say shalom,
Say Shalom.
say shalom,
Kind life,
Lane of the Alpha Israel.
say shalom, everyone. We say shalom, Lane of the Alpha Israel. The Alpha Israel. Amen.
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 Amen. Friends, thanks so much. May those who are in mourning be comforted, and may the blessings of all that we remember today be a source of blessing in your life. Thanks so much to Sarah Waxman of At the Well for leading us beautifully once again today. I want to wish everyone a Chodesh Tov, a Shabbat Shalom. Of course, everyone is welcome, encouraged if you can, just to stay with us. You can continue if you like. Turn off the sound on your device and just continue to sit with that guidance that Sarah offered us. You can join us for some conversation about the teaching today. Once again, thanks to our sponsor for today, Jason Klepp, who sponsored today's practice in honor of Hillel Lax, a truly fine man, a mensch. Thanks, Jason, so much for that. And just one more quick reminder for those who joined us a little bit late, this being Rosh Chodesh, this is your monthly reminder to join. If you're able to join us in becoming a monthly supporter for IJS and being part of our Rosh Chodesh community, which also enables you to dedicate several of our daily sits over the course of the year, if you're able to donate at the level of $18 a month, but really no amount is too small. It just is extremely helpful for us. And we hope you'll join us, the more than 100 folks who have signed up to be monthly supporters for IJS and part of our Rosh Chodesh community. If you have a question for Sarah, as always, please put it in the chat. Write question, all in caps. We'll keep an eye out for that. But also feel free just to share your reflections with your experience today on today's sit. Also, quickly, just a note for next week. Of course, IGS will be closed on Thursday, American Thanksgiving, and the day after. So next week we'll be sitting Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I put in the chat our lineup of leaders next week: Rabbi Shefa Gold on Monday, Cantor Kevin Spencer Shapiro Tuesday, and Rabbi Mira Neshama Nicolescu on Wednesday. Okay, Sarah, thank you so much. I almost feel like I'm through with Hanukkah. That just took me through the whole journey of Kislev. That was great.
You just want to get into Tevet? Should we explore anger right now?
We'll get there.
Yeah.
No, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm going to definitely.
A lot of people want us to sing This Little Light of Mine, which I'm happy for us to just do if we want to
maybe we'll close with that. That did.
Okay, let's close with it. I'm
that
seeing
did
a lot
go,
of requests this side.
It did go through my.
Me too.
Mind.
I just didn't want to pull us away from our focus.
No, that was great. It was great. So I guess I want to start with, and I'll take a look for other folks' questions. But what struck me, what came up for me as we were sitting was, in terms of these themes for the month that you described of light and dark, trust, dreams. What came up for me in terms of Jewish spiritual practice is that much of it, especially the mindfulness meditation, is about noticing that which lies beneath the surface or out of our awareness, and bringing it up into awareness. And dreams are always, and I have had truly wacky dreams this week, so it was good to know I'm right on schedule with that. And of course, dream interpretation, Freud, etc. We this is kind of our thing. So
Not just Freud, like the
yeah,
rabbis go into
I
it. And
know,
also
I
like
know, I know.
in the
But
Torah
I'm saying,
portion,
like, yes, absolutely. That's what
Joseph's
I'm
like,
saying.
cool, Pharaoh, let me sit down and interpret your dreams for you. And he's like someone that we, evoke as a
Right.
leader.
So what I was going to say was that, in a time in challenging times like these, I find it comforting and helpful to remember that under the surface, there's always something happening. That's the point. And in this case, use the metaphor of light and darkness, and the idea that there is this pilot light that's always burning, the shamus, the little light of mine, of ours, is always burning, is extremely hopeful. So the upshot of it, my experience with today's sit, was to feel more hopeful by the end of it than I did at the beginning. And I don't know if others had that experience as well, but I want to uh that's what I want. Everyone's really can't wait till this little light of mine. We'll do it in the last few minutes. So is that how you experienced it? I mean, do you in terms of a theme of Kislev, about hopefulness, about optimism, about resilience? That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, I love that you went there. I think so too. I think that leaders that are naturally full of hope
Hmm.
are contagious and are medicine. I'm not someone who has an orientation of positivity. I have to work towards it. I stick towards the hard stuff and the doomsday scenario. I think I'm really good at that. But I know
Hmm.
that about myself. And so I am aware of it when I see it. And story is teaching us about hope. It's not, I mean, it's not just teaching us about the destruction. And it's not even really focusing on the destruction. It's focusing on the possibility of what can happen even after a destruction. And there's something so beautiful and so possible to that, and I think so relevant to us when we think about life, decades, and scopes of time, and what the possibility is. And it helps us move from just this like narrowness of this day or this week or this year or this administration or whatever. And we
Right.
go into like, and what am I doing with my hope about it? And how is that fueling me to for me, hope gets me out of bed and gets me energized and gets me doing the work that I'm doing and gets me activating and organizing and being a joyful person despite it all. And the doomsday stuff makes me want to get in bed, pull the covers over, and avoid
Right.
it. There's a time for everything under the sun. So I think that, yes, I think the short answer is yes. Kislev is asking us about hope in ourselves, in our life.
Yeah.
What do you think? Was that a leading
Well, the
question?
other
Did I
thing,
give the answer you thought?
I didn't have any idea what answer you would give. You also mentioned trust, when you at the beginning, and I think that's part of it also. The Hebrew bitachon, and Joseph as a character. That these Torah portions really feature Joseph, and he's a really interesting character. Whatever you think about him when he was younger, in terms of his dreams and his attitude towards his family, he sort of models this almost simple trust in life unfolding, which is really a really very rare and powerful quality, um, that carries him through it in some way. And that's a little bit, I wanted to bring in Catherine's question here, which Catherine is asking about daydreaming, because we were thinking about dreaming, and bringing into awareness that which is lying beneath the surface at night. But daydreaming is interesting. I was thinking about it's when I sit, of course, like everyone else, I think like everyone else, there's daydreaming happens, meaning my mind goes away, starts, thinking about what has happened or planning for the future, and not being here, that's a form of daydreaming. And there's something people can also easily interpret that as a failure meditation wise. They're like, oh no, I'm doing it wrong, or I'm not doing it right, or I'm not doing it right. I'm a bad meditator because I'm daydreaming.
Is
And
that
I
a
think
thing?
part of the
as meditation.
takeaway here is that the day, is that actually the that's serving a function too. And there's something being revealed in the daydream. It's not that it's bad to daydream. So I wanted to say that. So what do you
I'm
think about
looking at Nancy's Zoom background with the beach behind her, and I've been daydreaming about being at the beach. If we got Nancy, I'm sure she'd choose it because it's like a happy place and it's a positive thing for her to place her mind. So I think it's like a Jewish yes and question. There's a place for the daydream and the intentional putting your mind on something positive and noticing what that does to you.
Hmm.
And you're allowed to feel beachy in the winter with your mind. I don't know Jewishly about the answer, Catherine, about the difference between night dreaming and daydreaming. Mark, I don't know if you do, or if anybody here on this call does. Drop into Catherine's question in the chat or private message her. I would like to know if there is anything there. I do believe in affirmations. I think that Judaism has 100 blessings a day for us to help stay focused on the little light inside of us and the light that we're part of, and that we're creating the image of the divine, and to be an agent of change and partner with the oneness of the world, and that we have these amazing brains that have the possibility of doing so much and so much together.
Mhm.
And it's an optionality about how to spend your time with your mind. And that's one of the things I love about mindfulness practice, is that it can show you how you're spending your time in your mind without judgment, but just awareness of it. And from that moment, you can respond rather than react to it. So you have the optionality of, is this a time for my daydreaming? Is this a time for my doomsday thinking? Is this a time for me to redirect and focus my light on something really important, or be really clear about what I can do, what I have the bandwidth to do, and be boundaried around the things you don't have the boundaries, that don't have the bandwidth to do. And it all comes from this amazing mind that you have, that we've all been given to sharpen and to use and to be in relationship with. I think that is Jewish too. And in the end of the day, Judaism is teaching us about the joy of being interconnected to the oneness. The first thing we say in the morning is gratitude. For me, if I don't have my Moda and E practice, which isn't always just saying the prayer, sometimes it's just lifting off things I'm grateful for in a really groggy voice to my wife as the first thing we talk about. Because otherwise it's like, we have work and the dentist and this thing and lunch and this thing and this thing and this thing. And oh my God, how are we going to do all of it? Let me just stay in bed. As opposed to be like, I'm alive. Let's go. Let's live this joyous life and help us do this thing that we want. And that actually just comes from the mind.
Just scrolling through and seeing this many, many beautiful comments, and also some questions, which I'm sorry we're not going to get to, including we don't have time to do it, especially since we want to sing This Little Light of Mine. But we are going to be, since we're just entering into the month of Kislev, I'm sure we're going to be dealing with a lot of these themes about what to do when we feel like that pilot light or shamash has gone out, or we're having a hard time accessing it, or when
We
we're
have
feeling
Shabbat. That's what we do.
yeah.
We rest and we ask for the extra soul, and we ask for help from other people, and we see if our little light can be. You can light another shamash from another light. So you could go to another person who you see has some light and be like, hey, I need a little bit of that, spark me up. And then it's on you to keep your spark going, and not to make sure that you're putting yourself in situations that are blowing it out.
All right, so you want to take us out?
I don't know if that's a happy answer, but that's my thought.
It's a good answer. But in our last
and you know what?
minute or so,
Ecclesiastes says there's a time thing for everything under the sun. So sometimes there's a time for your light to go out, and that's okay too. Okay, everybody, we ready to sing? Can we unmute? You don't want to just hear me sing.
No,
We can't unmute. No.
okay. Never a
Well,
good
then, Mark,
idea.
will you sing with me?
Sure. I love it. I don't know about it works so like they're listening.
1,
Right.
2,
3.
3.
This little
light of
of mine,
mine,
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
let
let
it
it shine.
shine.
This little light
light
of
of
mine,
mine,
I'm gonna let
let it
it shine.
shine.
This
This
little
little light of
mine,
mine,
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
let it shine, let
let
it
it shine,
shine,
let it
let
shine,
it shine, let it
let it shine.
shine, and spark light for other people.
All right. We'll work on it, Sarah. That was good. That was a good start.
We could take this on the road, Mark.
We
I
could
feel like
definitely
this
take
is
this on
what
the
the world
road.
needs, some
You
hope
know, the
and
Simon
some
and
singing.
Garfunkel, Margolius and Waxman. I think it could work. All right. We'll
As a
we'll
new
try again.
partnership
We'll
between
try.
At the
We'll
Well and
let's
IJS,
find
let's talk to the powers
we'll
of
find an
be.
angry song for Tevet. So okay.
We have some of
All
those too.
right. Okay. In due time. All right.
Shabbat shalom,
Thanks.
everybody. Chodesh Tov. Thank you, Mark, for having me. Thank you,
Of
everyone,
course,
for
Sarah.
singing
Always Shabbat
along.
Shalom and Chodesh Tov. Thanks, Harry. And we'll see everyone on Monday. Shabbat Shalom, Chodesh Tov, everyone.